Hey gang, Cliff Parker here, and I want to go over our monthly market report. So let's get right into it. First off, please subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up for this video. We'd really appreciate it, and it'll help other people to find our informative videos online. My name is Clifton Parker. I'm a licensed real estate agent, North Carolina broker, and a professional engineer in Virginia and North Carolina. And I've been building houses, building subdivisions, and doing transactions for a long time. And I'm with eXp Realty. My wife Shannon is with Redfin, so we're both working from the home office. And yes, we are competitors. And Shannon's out showing houses right now, so she can't be on this video, but I'll have her on the next one so we can talk about what's going on in the market. So right now, we are in August, okay? But we're going to be looking at the data from July back, okay? Because we're always going to be lagging the data, right? So unless you're hiding under a rock, you'll know we're in a seller's market. We're deep in a seller's market because the inventory of homes is so low. Now, looking back on the year on where we are, record price appreciation, extremely low inventory, record high percent of sales over list price, record low days on the market, historically low mortgage rates. Even just this week, the mortgage rates are dropping again. Now let's take a minute and let's look forward on where we are. Is the market turning? Oh, yes, it is. I'm going to show you that data right now. But the market is still competitive in homes less than $300,000. For the larger homes, it's changing. So fall is here. As we go into the year, most of the real estate market will lay low between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then after New Year's Eve into spring, we're back up and going again. So we're over the peak. And so let's just say the schoolers, the people with kids that want to time getting them out of school in May and June and getting them back into school at the end of August is peaked, because here we are, it's mid-August. If you're not in the new home yet and you're signing up your kids up for school, then you're going to have to switch schools in the middle of school year, which might not be a bad thing or a big deal, because last year most of the kids weren't even in school. They were all Zooming, so they didn't really get a chance to socialize with each other. So who knows what we're going to see in the market in the next year or two, because people may not feel as attached to their community, and they might say, let's just move this fall. So it's a good chance that volume is going to keep up. All right. So the bulk of the houses that are being sold right now, well over 50%, almost 60% of the market is in the 200 to 400,000 range. You've got the middle market, which is a little sluggish, okay? And then you go into the bigger market, over $500,000, okay, in terms of distribution. Now, don't let this confuse you, this smiley face. What does this mean? Again, this data is 643 data points from Henrico County with days on the market. So days of the market. It means as we went into the spring, the number of days on the market went down, and with the low point down here around 5. That means on average, and this is like a 50 data point average. Each one of these data points represents like 50 home closings. All right, so it's really smushed data. It means at this point in time, almost all the deals, houses coming on the market, were closing in 5 days. Now it's sprung around in here, and now it's going back up, which means houses are taking a little bit longer to sell than they were, okay, in the spring. We've crested the year, and so things are just slowing down a little bit. Now, this is percent over list price, and you can see as we came from February into April, and then they just exploded up through May. That's your April-May explosion on your buy side that we saw this spring. The market went bonkers. Again, each one of these data points represents 50 home closings, so there's a lot of data here. It just shows that there was an extreme demand. People were bidding well over the price of the homes. It means if the price of the home was listed as $100,000, they were paying $108,000. Okay, you follow me? And then the data looks like it oscillated here, It almost looks like a double top on a stock market chart, and then it's fallen down, which means people aren't bidding over as much. Okay, this is real data. I just pulled this in the last 48 hours, and these are from deals that have closed in Henrico County, which is a pretty big market and good and representative. Now, this is dollar per square foot over time. So this is the over time, what we see, this is 643 data points consolidated, that over time, in general, the price of a homes are still going up. Okay, that trend line is going up. So if you're paying a house, and you can see this on Zillow or any of the sites, or just ask your real estate agent, if the price of the house is less than $150 per square foot, you're probably getting a good deal. And if you're over $200 a square foot, I mean, you're paying a premium. So the middle of this line, about 175, but you can see it's a gentle slope up, which means prices are still going up. Now, this is an inverse. This is dollar per square foot, which means the smaller houses have a premium and bigger houses are at a discount, which is telling us that if you buy a larger house right now, you're going to get it at a slightly better deal. And that's why this slope of it. Now, this is only Henrico data, but generally this is a pretty steep slope. And we can prep this for any community you want to live in, anywhere you want to go. And you'll see that smaller houses are selling at a premium because we got a lot of people coming into this market with these low interest rates. So, is there a housing bubble? What's going on? Well, you've probably heard me say this before. For 13 consecutive years, the United States, we haven't built enough houses, okay? On a decade basis, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, in the last decade, we just haven't built enough houses to sustain the amount of population increase that we have in the United States. There is a shortage of supply, bottom line. If you go on the radio, or you listen to the radio, someone will say, everybody's doing all these cash refis, and the market's going to crash, and blah, blah, blah. Well, the bottom line is people were doing a lot. This is billions of refinances that they did back in 2006. Okay, and this is where we are in 2020. It's not that bad. Okay, and then the other thing people say is, well, people lost their jobs during COVID, and people aren't going to pay their mortgage, and they're going to have forbearances, and we're going to have all these distressed properties come on the market, and then the market's going to crash. Well, not so fast. The number of mortgages in forbearance has been going down, and this is since May of last year in the middle of COVID. Well, why is that? Well, and everybody projected there was going to be this huge crash, right? Well, there's nowhere near those projections. And the reason is people are working things out they're either paying their mortgage, or they're working on a payment plan, or they got their job back, whatever it is. It's just the crisis is not happening. And then sometimes we get calls from people who say, I'm looking for a distressed property. I want the foreclosures like we used to have back in 2008 and 2010. Well, they're not around because people are paying their mortgages. So we don't have a lot of distressed properties. So compared to 2012, we're nowhere near that, right? Yet, rents keep rising and going up, which is also driving the housing market because people are going, well, if I'm paying this much in rent, I might as well buy. And you're exactly right. Don't throw your money down the toilet. Build wealth, buy a house. So what are the big overhangs? Renter evictions. About 10 million Americans are behind on their rent. But that can keeps getting kicked down the road. But 18 million Americans are taking extended unemployment benefits that are set to expire in September. And a growing number of states want to get rid of them because if you go on vacation or you're at Virginia Beach, there's nobody working in the restaurants because people haven't been able to fill vacant positions because people are staying at home collecting their checks. So the supply and demand of these folks that might be either renters that are evicted or people that are on unemployment benefits is really going to have to offset each other with supply and demand. Because if people move out, they're going to have to go somewhere. They're not all going to be living under a bridge. So bottom line, they're going to go somewhere. And so the market demand is still there. There's still a shortage of houses. So let's talk about interest rates. Well, interest rates are driven by the Federal Reserve based off of interest rates and mortgage rates. So if interest rates are historically about 3%, the mortgage rates are historically like 6. Well, we're well under that. I mean, we're down in the 2s and the 3s. So since 2016, 3.5, 4.6, now we're down into 3 or sub 3. Where's it going to go? Even if it doubled from here, from 3 back up to 6, we're still in historic low area of mortgage rates. So credit availability, if we talk about that, average FICO, credit scores, FHAs are probably the lowest. Conventionals are like 758. But in 2006, they were given loans to a lot more people with credit scores less than 620. Now that number is very small. And the people that are buying houses have credit scores that are greater than 650. So the likelihood of having a foreclosure crisis again is about 0%. Bottom line, the prices are rising, the market's still going up, we're going into fall, it'll be a good time to buy. House rates are likely to stabilize. They're probably not going to be getting multiple offers like they were in the spring, unless it's a smaller home or a home under $300,000, then it still might get multiple offers. But we're seeing that softening. And so if you're selling a bigger home, you just got to understand you might have missed that peak of this buying season, the seller's market that was in April, May of this year. So you just have to take that into account if you're going to sell your house now. Okay, so here we're going to look at MLS data. Now I'm going to click on 5 years. So this is 5 years of MLS data, and this is sales price. So you can see sales price and this seasonality. It goes up in the spring, goes down into the end of the year. And it goes down. It went up in 2020, and then it's gone way up here. So the average price, median price of a home sale is around $325,000. New listings, again, you can see the seasonality in the housing market, and here we are peaking out, okay, this is everything in MLS. This is the big Central Virginia MLS region. Homes for sale, of course, the inventory is low, like I mentioned before. And then closed sales. Actually, closed sales, we've sold more homes this year than we did in past years, right? Okay, it's just the velocity of homes that have sold has been much faster. And the days on the market until they sold was a lot less, right? So for our entire MLS, 100% of list price, homes have been selling over the list price, right? And now it looks like it's going to start dropping back. And our price per square foot for all the homes in our regional MLS are up around $170 per square foot. All right, this is Henrico County data. Again, this is 5 years of data, and you can see the average price of a home working itself up and then shooting up, okay? Is this going to pull back on average? Probably. I mean, you can see the trend line pretty clearly going up over time. And even if I take this 5-year chart and going out to 10 years, you can see that housing prices have been going up steadily over the years, right? And the average price of a house in Henrico has gone up above $325. With new listings, they've slowed down a little bit. Homes for sale, again, there's not many for sale, right? And closed sales, again, pretty high. A lot of closed sales in Henrico. And the days of the market, not many. So that's a big market. So for Henrico, the average price, the median price for list, okay, normally gets to 100%. It falls back down, gets 100%, falls back down. But this year it's exploded, okay? So you can see a lot of houses this year have sold well over their list price in Henrico County, and the price per square foot is over $180 a square foot. So Hanover's data and sales price over the last 5 years has really exploded up. So the average price is well over $375,000. The new listings are kind of rolling over as we get into the fall. The homes for sale, there's not a lot of them. The closed sales, they're going, and then days on the market. Now let's also look at percent of list price. Okay, you can see it's spiked up over 100% of list price, and it's coming back down. So there you go. And then price per square foot, you can see the average price per square foot in Hanover is over 170. Okay, gang, that's my report for the month. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give us a thumbs up. Tune in next month for next month's data. Again, we're going into fall. This is probably going to be the best time to buy for some time, because we'll go into 2022 next year, and we'll get into spring, and we'll have that same kind of heated type market that you see almost every year. Unless we get some kind of big giant stock market crash or something cataclysmic, the market's going to keep working its way out because there's such a housing shortage. And I've got some other videos that are out there that really tell you why it is just the best time ever to look at that middle market, that $400,000 to $500,000 market, those homes in the $3,000 to $5,000 square foot market. The smaller home market is absolutely still on fire. It's been on fire. It's going to continue on fire, and this year just heated it up even more. But the middle market is still relatively soft. Boomers are moving out. There's a lot of reasons for it. I'll post a video on it called the smiley face in the data, and you can check it out. But there's just a lot of value. So if you're in a rancher and you want to move to a bigger home, of all things considered, now is the time to do it. Anyway, have a great day. Tune in next month. Please like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll have Shannon on the video next month. Take care. Over and out.